Okay, good morning. So we're going to move on to solving linear equations 2. So I'm just going to, I suppose, add another layer of complexity to the equations that you're being asked to solve. Right, so we'll do the first one. So solve 2x plus 3 equals 11. Okay, so the brief for the assignment, like if you're going to solve, so when you're asked to solve, you have to isolate the letter. Okay, so that was the same in the questions that we did on Friday, and it's the same now. Okay, so if I get my highlighter and I highlight my letter, so I want that to be on its own. I'll put my line in. So here's the equals, which makes this the left-hand side, and it makes this the right-hand side. Okay, so I want that x to be on its own on the left-hand side, and at the moment, as well as the x, there is a 2 and there is a 3. Both of those need to go. Okay? Because otherwise I can't isolate the x. I isolate the x and get it on its own, which means I need to move anything that's with it away from it. Okay? So we did a bit of this the last day. So if you want to get rid of, not technical maths language obviously, if you want to get rid of, I'm going to say something because technically it could be letters, it doesn't just have to be numbers. So if you want to get rid of something, you perform the inverse operation. Okay? You also start the thing that's closest to x, you will do last. Okay, you always do that last, the stuff that's closest in to the letter that you're trying to isolate. So you kind of work from the outside in type thing. Okay? Okay, so we're going to start by getting rid of the 3 because it's further away than the 2. The 2 is stuck directly to the x, whereas the 3 has a little bit of separation. So at the moment, this 3 has been added on to this 2x. So to get rid of the 3, I need to do the opposite of adding a 3, which would be to minus a 3. The opposite of addition is subtraction. That will completely take that out. Again, we kind of talked about this when we were doing the homework, but if you had 14 and I add 3, you get 17. And then if I do the inverse operation, which is to minus 3, that brings you back to 14. So these 3's become pointless because I'm just back here. So that's essentially what I'm doing here. I want to get rid of this plus 3, so I do it with the opposite operation, which is a minus 3, and plus 3 and minus 3 take each other out. But when you're doing linear equations, you must always balance. So if I had to minus a 3 from the left-hand side, I'm going to have to minus a 3 from the right-hand side. Okay? Right, so let's tidy that up now. So on the left-hand side, I have 2x. These are gone because plus 3 and minus 3 take each other out. And on the right-hand side, I've got 11 minus 3, which is 8. Okay? Again, we're still trying to isolate that x. We've definitely gotten a bit further, but it's still not isolated. So we ask ourselves, what's going on here? So the x at the moment is being multiplied by a 2. So to get rid of that 2, we do the opposite, which is to divide by a 2. They will cancel each other out, but if you divide by 2 on the left-hand side, you're going to have to balance and divide by 2 on the right-hand side. So the x is now isolated, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I have solved for x. In this equation here, x has a value of 4. Okay, now we haven't really talked about verification up until now, so I'll show you how to verify. It's very easy. So verify basically means to check your solution is correct. Okay, so if I take, what was it, 2x plus 3 equals 11, 2x plus 3 equals 11, and I'm going to check, so I found out that x was 4, so if I take the 4 and put it in here, it should work. So we did substitution, that was the very first thing we did in algebra. So I have 2, and I replace the x with a 4, put it in brackets, then I have plus 3 and equals 11. 2 bracket 4 is 2 multiplied by 4, which is 8, plus 3 equals 11. And does 8 plus 3 equal 11? Yeah. So that means my answer is right, because when I put it back into the equation, it works. Okay, so you don't have to verify all the time. There are particular questions where you have to verify, just if you're ever asked to verify. That's all it means. It's to check that your answer is right, essentially. Okay, so we'll try the other one just to practice. So we have 5x minus 4 equals minus 14. Okay, so 5x minus 4 equals minus 14. This is for B, and the question is solve. Again, solve means isolate the letter. Okay, so you start furthest away from the letter. I want to remove the 5 and I want to remove the minus 4. I'll start with the minus 4. So to remove the minus 4, at the moment we are subtracting 4, so we need to do the opposite of subtract 4, which is to plus 4. When you do that, that will cancel. But if I have to plus 4, here's my equals on the left hand side, then I have to plus 4 on the right hand side. Okay, so now on the left hand side over here, the 4's are gone, so I simply have 5x. Put down my equals. Minus 14 plus 4 is minus 10. Okay, so that's better. I've tidied it up a bit. I got rid of the minus 4, but now I have to get rid of the 5. So here's my x that I want isolated. At the moment it is being multiplied by 5, so I need to do the opposite of that, which is to divide by 5. Multiply 5 and divide 5 cancel each other out, but if I divide by 5 on the left hand side, I'm going to have to divide by 5 on the right hand side to balance the equation. So now my x is isolated. Here I have a minus, this 5 is a plus, different signs give me minus, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, and again, just for consistency, we'll verify. Oh, can't spell verify. Okay, so the equation is 5x minus 4 equals minus 14. And I have worked out that x is minus 2. So 5 brackets minus 2 minus 4 equals minus 14. This is a plus, this is a minus, and I'm multiplying, so different signs give me a minus. 5 by 2 is 10, and then minus 4 equals minus 14. So does minus 10 minus 4 equal minus 14? Yes, it does. So it works. Okay, so again, that is just adding another layer, making it that little bit harder where you introduce this second thing that needs to be removed in order to isolate the x, okay? But the rules don't change. Okay, so when you're asked to solve, you want to isolate the letter. To isolate the letter, you need to start, I'm using inverted commas, getting rid of stuff. You get rid of stuff by doing the opposite. So if I want to get rid of a plus 3, the opposite of plus is minus. So you get rid of it with a minus 3. And then you always have to remember that in equations you must balance. So whatever operation you perform on one side of the equals, you must balance that on the other side of the equals. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of those for homework to try, and they're due for Wednesday, whatever your class time is. Okay, have a good day.